You see, you can't have a conversation. So what is the point in talking to you?
Him. That's why you're not having respect at the first place.
So let's have a timed conversation, me and you. Let's have a timed conversation. We'll do 3 minutes for you. Yeah, if you can. 3 minutes for you. 3 minutes for me. Okay, will you time it?
Okay, no problem. Do not insult or say any bad words about.
I'll say whatever I like about Muhammad. Oh, there we go. You see what I mean? They demand respect, and yet Muslims mock the incarnation in the park all the time. They mock.
Blah, blah, blah.
And notice how he grabs your camera.
Conversation.
Yeah.
He cannot have a
I'm just challenging you. There you go. Supremacism right there. The camera has to be on me. Ooh, do you see what I'm saying? So, bro, the hatred is in your heart. The hatred is in your heart. So notice the behavior. It speaks for itself. Notice the behavior. It speaks for itself. Notice the behavior. It speaks for itself. And the thing is, guys, they talk about hatred. Their own Quran teaches hatred against Christians and Jews. So he said, show me. I'll show him. I'll show you where your Quran teaches hatred. It says, I'll show you.
It says treat him the best, you know.
No, it does. Let's actually look at what the Quran says.
If you read the Bible, the Quran, the Jews
Let's just look at what the Quran says.
I'll show you what does the Quran say about the Christians. You're a hypocrite.
So let's look into what the Quran actually says against Christians and Jews. Firstly, let's go to and this, guys, is what we need to recognize, is because as we capture on camera every week, Muslims will deny firstly, then when you show them the evidence, they defend it. I said the Quran teaches hatred against Christians and Jews. His first instinct was to deny it and say, show me the evidence. Now I'm going to show him the evidence. Watch him defend it. Just as I said he would. So, in Surah 9. In Surah 9.
This guy, they only know Surah 9. They know nothing.
Oh no, I have others. So, in Surah 9:29, Allah instructs Muslims, fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which Allah hath forbidden by Allah and his messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth from among the people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. So the Quran is saying, Muslims, fight Christians and Jews until they either become Muslim or until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subjugated. Other translations put it as humiliated.
That's your proof.
There's your proof. How would you reply to that? Let's have a respectful conversation.
Tell me the story about this verse. Every verse comes for a reason, you know. Tell me the story, or you just copy saying like this. What is the story about it?
Okay.
What's the story?
Here.
Where was this revealed? Where was it? In Mecca or Medina? Where was it? You don't know nothing, bro. You just want to copy something.
So on, defend it then. What's your defense?
No, I'm asking you. You know it better than me, right?
So no
Where
defense.
Was it revealed? Where was it revealed?
No defense.
Tell me the story about this verse.
Here's the story that is the truth that we Christians experience for 1400 years. Using this verse, Muslims invaded Christian lands around the world. Muslims humiliated and subjugated Christians around the world. In Egypt, in Spain, in Romania, in Greece, in Cyprus, in Italy, in Sicily, in Portugal, in Algeria, in Tunisia, in Jordan, in Lebanon, in Palestine. They humiliated Christians and Jews. They subjected us to this kind of humiliation following this Quranic injunction. They quoted it as justification for their actions. And this is why, Christians, you must contend for history. You must learn the history of the church. You must learn how the church has suffered under Sharia law and suffered under Islamic occupation. And you must tell those progressive idiots who try to pretend that Islam is some harmless ideology. And you must contend for the history, because as you have seen, the Muslims will simply deny the facts of history. Do you know who the janissaries were? Do you know? Do you know? I'm asking you.
Tell us.
Do you know who the janissaries were?
Tell us.
You see? Who are the janissaries?
Tell us.
Do you know? He doesn't know.
At least I admit it.
Do you know?
No, at least I
Do you know?
No, I admit it.
Now, guys,
Say it then.
we know he's lying because we've told him before.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm on it.
Who are they?
So, the janissaries were the kidnapped Christian children in occupied Islamic lands who were forcibly converted to Islam, sent back to and kill their own families, mothers, daughters, brothers, sisters, and to raid the villages of their own families.
What's that got to do with Islam?
Why did the Muslims do it?
Why, Bob?
Because Islam teaches, Muhammad taught and allowed that when the Banu Quraysh were conquered, that their women and children could be taken as slaves. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why as Christians we must find our strength and stand up to Sharia and stand up to the Islamists and stand up to those that would defend this law. We all feel free to criticize Nazism. And why? Because Nazism is an abhorrent ideology that calls for abhorrent acts.
Look.
Islam is an abhorrent ideology that calls for abhorrent acts. So go on.
Oh believer, don't discuss and debate with the Jews
Yes.
and Christians to whom the divine books.
Yes.
Except in the best manners.
Right.
In the best manners.
Right.
You're lying, bro.
So here we have
You're hypocrite.
a contradiction in the Quran. So we have one verse of the Quran that says discuss with Jews and Christians in the best way. Something that no Muslim here ever does.
Because you're not
As demonstrated by this man on camera. On camera. On camera.
Read the other Quran properly.
But then this verse of the Quran calls Muslims to fight against Christians and Jews until they accept Islam or until they are humiliated.
That is wrong.
Oh,
Hypocrites.
so the Quran now
Hypocrites.
contradicts itself.
Hypocrites. That's not true.
But it gets
We're
worse.
sick and we got merciful and love.
It gets
and everything.
worse.
It gets worse.
Oh, it gets so much worse.
Okay.
Let's look at what else the Quran
Every
says.
black sheep and every human being. It's good and bad.
We're talking about what the Quran says, not what individual Muslims do.
I'm sorry.
You gotta stay focused, bro.
You don't agree, go home, bro.
You go home. That's where you got your night sick.
Okay,
Wait till you're 90, you get your ass to walking when you're 90.
so
You standing there preaching lying in the camera. Black sheep and good sheep in the
we're talking about what the Quran says, not what individuals do. Stay focused. Stay focused.
Stay on the team.
Good and bad, mate. We look at it that way.
So, let's look at what else the Quran says about Christians and Jews.
It's a bad thing because you're a bad man, that's why.
He says I'm a bad man. The Quran says that Christians and Jews are like dumb cattle. Is that talking to Christians and Jews in the best manner?
No!
So the Quran commands Muslims to discuss with Christians and Jews in the best way. He quoted it.
Listen to that, man.
But the Quran addresses Christians and Jews as dumb animals. That's what the Quran says about Christians and Jews.
What you want to say about it? That's what you want to say about it.
Are you saying I'm wrong?
The reality is,
Are you saying I'm wrong?
is the best. Whether
Are you
like it or
saying
not,
I'm wrong?
it's the best.
Are you saying I'm
It's gonna
wrong?
be the first. It's not
Are you
already
saying
the
I'm wrong?
first. It's gonna be everywhere. trust me.
Are you saying I'm wrong?
Sharia law will be everywhere. Sharia law.
So,
You like it or you don't like it.
they said it will be everywhere, Sharia law. Be aware, O Christians, O followers of Christ. The Muslims declare openly their intention to put Christianity over your, to put Sharia law over your heads. They have declared it openly. As Christians, you are called to be good soldiers of Christ and to fight against sin, the world, and the devil. Sharia law is of the devil, and Christians should fight against it. Let us look at what Islam, what the Quran says about you, what it says about Christians in Surah 7, 179. Let's go there. Because you've got to understand, this book informs Muslims about how they see you, Christians. Many are they we have made for hell. They have hearts wherewith they understand not, eyes wherewith they see not, and ears wherewith they hear not. They are like cattle, nay, more misguided, for they are heedless. The Quran describes Christians and Jews as cattle. This is why Muslims speak down to Christians. And notice how they speak to us, how they seek to treat us when Sharia law dominates. Go to Egypt, go to Pakistan, go to Jordan, go to Syria, go to Palestine, and see for yourselves how Christians live as second-class citizens.
How are atheists treated under Sharia?
Atheists don't even have the right to exist under Sharia law. The reality is, if you do not fight against an evil, the evil will win by default. The Quran goes on to say in Surah 60, verse 4, and on this I'm going to stop on this topic and take questions. So in Surah 60, Ayah 4, it reads this: there is for you an excellent example to follow in Abraham. So Abraham is being held up as an example. As an example. When they said to their people, so this is Abraham's words, we are clear of you and of whatever you worship besides Allah. We have rejected you, and there has arisen between us and you enmity and hatred forever, unless you believe in Allah. So the example of Abraham to the Muslims is to have an enmity and hatred to the unbelievers, to the pagans particularly. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Christ, we are called as Christians to fight for justice, to fight for the righteous cause of our God. And that means that we fight against racial apartheid. We fight against Nazism, communism. We fight against Sharia law, because Sharia law imposes a religious apartheid. The liberal media and the liberal politicians have lied to you about what Islam will do to Christians and Jews under Sharia law. They will be made into second-class citizens, having less rights than Muslims. If we pass the law that said black people had less rights than white people on account of the colour of their skin, you would all be enraged. So why do you turn a blind eye to a legal system that will say that Jews and Christians will be second-class citizens on the basis of their religion? If it is right to condemn Nazism, it is right to condemn Islam and Sharia law. Let us be clear. Not all Muslims believe in their religion. There are many good Muslims who do not want to do to you what their religion teaches. But the fact remains that their religion does teach it. And it is right and fair and just and a Christian duty to stand against Sharia law.
There you have it, guys. This is the current state of Europe. Their holy book? It's not a book of peace. It's filled with hatred toward Jews and Christians. And the most shocking part? Nearly 2 billion people believe this is a message from God. Many Muslims have their own version of history when it comes to Islam, one that conveniently skips over uncomfortable truths. But thank God for people like Bob, who aren't afraid to expose the reality. He's shedding light on what's been happening for the past 1,400 years, all inspired by their so-called holy book. And that was just a small glimpse into their peaceful legacy. As Bob said, we as Christians must study the true history of the Church. If we don't, we'll keep getting drowned out by false narratives and half-truths these guys pick up from their sheikhs and imams in mosques. I hope you found the video insightful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. God bless you all.